Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy 26th to each and every one of you. Happy 26th. Uh, we want to welcome each and every one of you. Happy 26th to those of you back home. Welcome to today's edition. Welcome to the show. Happy 26th. Welcome to the show. As you are coming on, please share the show. Please share the show if you can. Share the show, invite someone. We're going to be playing host here today to Vandalark R Patrick's. Vandela has an important announcement, an important information that he would like to pass on. But again, like we said in Liberia, what better day than the July 26th to make his announcements? Welcome to each and every one of you. Please share the show. Our guest Vandela will be on momentarily. As you can see the headline. As you can see the headline here, Vandela will be with us. But in the meantime, there is a lot of things to talk about. There are a lot of things to talk about while we get started here. Share the show. Happy 26. Happy July 26 to Liberia. Liberia turns 175 years. That's not a small number. For those of you who know number, that is not a small number. 175. That's a big number. Yes, Liberia celebrates 175 years old. Liberia is 175 years old. Blama, welcome to the show. Blama Kamara, Muhammad, happy Independence Day to you as well. From SKTV, from me, we say happy 26. To all of you, to all of us, happy 26, guys. Anita, welcome to the show. Caroline, welcome to the show. I think this is the same Caroline person. Caroline, congratulations on your achievements. Congrats to you. Congratulations. I think you just got certified or you just passed your exam as a practitioner. Congratulations to you. I think I came across a post from someone, from a mutual friend that we both have. So I want to make sure I highlight that. And it's been a while since we had a discussion together on the same panel. Congrats to you. Mason Gold Jr., welcome to the show. Watching us from the city of the light, Paris. That's good. Welcome. Again, our guest is Vandalark R Patrick's. He has an announcement. We have a lot to talk about. And yes, we will talk about those things today. But in the meantime, in the interim, while we are waiting, our guest and Siku Life Fofana, welcome to the show. We'll be recognizing you as you write. If you don't write, we wouldn't know that you are here. Happy Independence Day to you. Today, like we said yesterday, is, I don't know if we should term it as an emergency show or whatever. Most times it's an emergency show. We don't have shows on these days, but we're here today. So good afternoon to all of you. Good morning, those of you watching us from Australia. Someone's watching us from Pakistan. Hey, is that Asif? Welcome to the show. Uh, guys, help us share the show, please. As we await our guests here, help us share the show. Woke up to some information, lot of information, a lot. Quickly. Um, let me give you some announcements quick. Even though we'll recapture some of these announcements right after the show, but let me give you some announcements quick. After this week, Emmanuel, welcome to the show. Fuma Toure, welcome to the show. My man Fuma Leo, man. But I food talk. When you be talking this time, don't be writing vote here, be writing DAL. Stop confusing the public. Vote got merged or got swallowed in the DAL. So stop it. Nobody's stupid here. Don't stop that. Yeah. I y'all let it confuse people. Don't confuse the Liberian people. Please, we're begging you. Don't confuse the Liberian people. We're begging you. Vote is not by itself anymore. So vote can rescue no Liberian. Yeah, that 26, I beg you. Don't let us start the 26 with noise. Please, I beg you. Don't try it because we're not relaying. You want to bring noise in the town, we'll bring noise in the town. Yeah. Don't make it 26 a little funny on vote. Vote is not in existence. Vote is DAL. Vote is part of DAL. So stop it. Jeremiah Wabo 10 vote over to DAL to speak. So when you're speaking, speak for vote, start speaking for DAL. Speak for DAL, start speaking for vote. Vote will rescue who? Vote is part of DAL and say vote will rescue. Nobody's too big here, brother. Do that thing. But anyways, guys, let enjoy what Tony say. Yeah, they may want to distract us. As part of the announcement, let me end what I was saying, please. Fatima Fambule, welcome. Okay. Well, Fatima, you have a good point there. Zole, welcome to the show. Yeah, I know. The other Tony says, yeah, we inside now. We already told them what is going on. We got it cool. We also already on the scene cool. We don't want to. But yes, welcome to the show, guys. Quick announcement. As of next week, you will not be seeing me during the regular week. I have a new obligation. So as of next week, you will have sickle on Mondays and on Thursdays. Now, once I settle in, I could be joining sickle, but for the interim, just so we're clear, so you're not asking the same questions. Oh, Steve. Oh, what? I'll be gone for a little while. Enjoy yourself. I will still be. I will still do my best if I can to write or to participate or whatever. You already know. You already know. We'll still be there, but I'll be, I will definitely be part of the conversation. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be available Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday. Our guests for the show, Mental Health and Wellness this Friday, will be coming from Liberia. We'll also be changing the time for Mental Health and Wellness after today, after this Friday, after this week. We will be changing the time to 10 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. Arizona time. I believe it will be 9 p.m. Midwest. But everything will be updated. We'll be changing the time because of my new obligations. Please bear with us. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That time, we talk mental health. That time, everybody, some people either getting ready to go party or chill. We'll still follow. You get me? So, yeah. We'll keep on that. But share the show. Happy July 26th. Happy 26th. Happy 26th. Share the show. A lot to talk about. Like I said, Fantilla Patrick will be here any moment from now. Any moment from now, Vandela Patrick would be here. So share the show. We have a lot of questions to ask Vandela Patrick. A lot. A lot of questions to ask Vandela Patrick. We have a lot of discussion to have. Yep. Vandela needs to be asked a lot of questions. But he said to us, he's available for the conversation. So that's good. That is a good sign. The fact that he's available to talk about anything and everything. Hey, we take our chances and we ask the questions that are needed to be asked. As always, since he summoned us today here, the reason why he go bring us here, we'll talk about it here. Yvonne, I'm super. I'm doing okay, mama. I'm straight. Yeah, but let's share the show. And the Lapagde should be here on this July 26th for us to talk. I wrote a post and a couple of friends, some reach out to me. Oh, but man, why you say that? Let me say this to you. Everything I do, I know what I'm doing. I mean to do what I'm doing. And I don't take posts down. I don't. Nope. I meant to write what I wrote. I'm not going to take it down. No, it's not going to happen. So, if you don't like it, keep strolling. Keep it moving. But that post remains. It's not going to come off. Nope. You don't have to like it. You don't have to comment on it. You don't have to say anything. That's the good thing about it. But this is what the post said. Happy 26th to all Liberians. Home and abroad. However, we diaspora Liberians, we're not sending your fine. Enough is enough. You enjoy the new music the president made with Isaac. Simple. Our president made a music in the midst of all the sufferings. So I say you enjoy it. We're not sending 26 for no. When I see your 26 messages in my past, we're not sending 26, to family and friends. Trust me, I'm not even paying attention to that. You're not serious. It will be fun. You're in suffering. No, you're in suffering. Don't let nobody fool you. You're in suffering. And we're not stupid here. We're not stupid here. You're in suffering. We know you're in suffering. You're enjoying it because when people are suffering, they show that they're suffering. They're staying up. You're in suffering, yeah? But the July 27th by your passing are getting better with same wave and all that. That one just started. Any Christmas and New Year coming? Christmas and New Year coming now. You're in suffering. No, you're not suffering. Let nobody fool you. They're not suffering. If you go to all of the clubs tonight, they're balling, they're chilling. We're not stupid. Man. Don't do that thing. We're not going to go work for our high-end money. And you're going to put in a situation we can't handle. We're not stupid. Hey, up. Dancing Bugatti in your passing, right? People who suffering, especially the young girl and young boy, we ain't worry about y'all. You're not suffering. You're not ready yet. You ain't ready for prompt time. You'll get president. You're hungry. Your children are hungry. You get president passing singing Bugatti. You're singing on there. You also be serious people. You're serious yet. You ain't very serious. You ain't capico. If you're serious with you, you're capico. You ain't suffering yet. You ain't suffering. That's why I have said it, and I was going to say it. Please don't waste your time. About last year, I said it. All the different groups I'm in, when you do your contribution, don't call me. I will not contribute. I will not put my 5 cents inside. It's not going to happen. No. I will not contribute. No. No way. I will not contribute. People who are suffering, they make it known that they're suffering. That thing on our job level, we don't want that thing. Our app open too. Some of feeling learning that. They're not suffering. They're not suffering. Especially the other young people, they're not suffering. You ain't suffering. Nope. You ain't suffering. You ain't suffering. You come on our post there. We'll try to hold the government accountable. You'll make excuses. You'll make it look like we know what we're talking, or we don't know what's going on. Then you come in my inbox and you ask for help. Me, who crazy? Leave that team, man. Nobody on that level. You're not suffering. In fact, you're enjoying what's going on. You're just looking for other people to go, hey, you're not suffering. That is suffering. We'll tell you to vote the way and you're going to be acting. You can stay against her. Okay. And we'll say when you should vote the way, you can go vote. It's just unfortunate somebody you can't get it about, as family member and loved one. I mean, I tell them straight up, bro. I tell them straight up. We're not going to do that one. We're not even going to play like that. Me and nobody on that level. You're not suffering yet, my people. Most of the people are not suffering yet. Especially the young boys and the young girls. I'm not talking about the woman there. I'm not talking about the papi there. I'm not talking about the handicapped people and other people who are disabled. The young boy and the young girl, they're not suffering. They're not suffering. Today they're wearing CDC t-shirt. Tomorrow they're wearing the other person t-shirt. They're defending the other regime. What kind of inconsistency that you want to confuse us? They're not suffering. You ain't suffering. So we're not with our time. So yes, we're waiting for Vandalark Patrick, our guest. Help us to share the show in the meantime. He should be here. He just sent me a message that he just got to his place. He's setting in to be on. So we have a lot going on. We heard about protest. We did hear about protest. I saw some video clips and so forth. Let me say this. Some of you will not like what I'm about to say. But as always, I don't mince my words. You might not like me, but you will respect what I say. You will. And some days, when you go sit on your private places or by yourself, or when you're reflecting, you will know that what we say here, we mean well, even if it's against your favorite person or your favorite people. The reason the government is emboldened to misbehave, clamp down on protester or protest and other people is because these same opposition members sold their birthrights. Let me tell you something, to the credit of CDC, in as much as I still believe up until today that the CDC-led government is not serious to handle the affair of the state. They're not serious. They've had various opportunities to do what is right. They've refused to do what is right. The CDC used protests to their advantage. They got the Liberian people's attention. They got the world attention. They held Ellen's feet to the fire. It was a good thing to see how they were united in their quest for change. It was a good thing, to be quite honest. We give credit where credit is due. You get our men who wanted to replicate the same thing CDC did. They had perfect opportunity President George Weah wouldn't be misbehaving. He wouldn't be singing songs on days like this or in times like this. He wouldn't be singing songs to hold President George Weah accountable. They compromised the protest. The two protests, they compromised it. Yes, they did. They compromised both protests. You embolden the government when you do that. You're not serious about your own thing. Who's going to be serious about it? These were perfect opportunities. Look at your hero there, even collecting money on cover. But 2023 coming closer. Your year videotape of people making negotiations. You're still rejected and say that not truth. That not the person for it. You're passing around defending it. Whoso will take your seriously? Whoso will be really serious about you guys to say, oh, you're going to do protest? You're going to protest? Do you know the importance of protest in democracy? Do you know? You don't understand the importance of protest. So when the government is emboldening, who cannot they sue protest today? You know the same COP, I know how you call them, CDC COP. You know the same people, CDC COP, you know the same people. And you won't pass around and blame the young people. It's just sad that I saw a bunch of young people today being used by politicians, hide their hands behind closed doors, and push these young people in harm's way for them to harm themselves. Let me tell you something. If all of your political leaders could gather, and President George Weah never went there. President George Weah didn't go there. A few young boys and young girls will wear brown t-shirt and brown trousers and pass around. And you think somebody will listen to you? Lead that team, man. Okay, joke. Let's see what joke. Let's see what. Let's see what. Samuel Twe, Nathaniel McGill, George Weah, Jefferson Koji. They don't take you seriously on the line of protest. Because your people and we are pulling from it, they sow your protest. Yep. They sow your protest. Including some of your religious leaders, their hands were in it to sow your protest. So nobody about to tell you, seriously, Samuel Twe go sit down somewhere and start telling people to leave because that man. We come here ask Vandalark R the serious question. You see what Mr. Twe? Send your request to SKTV. In fact, it's an open request to you, Mr. Twe. Welcome to the show, as a matter of fact. Maybe it's about time that you come on the show. It's an open request to Samuel Twe. Samuel Twe Junior Peking. That Minister Samuel Twe. Welcome to the show. You always follow the show. You always watch the show. It's a good thing. You're welcome to SKTV. Would hope that you can come and talk to the Liberian people on SKTV too. So the invitation is open to you. Welcome. I know because that are your man, that your boy. That's my boy too. But I can walk and chew gum so I can hold people accountable. So I expect you to hold me accountable too. But long story short, unless some serious-minded people decide that they would have a protest and not be plenty of protests and be in negotiation with the government, yeah, that's true about you. Yeah, that's true about you. Yeah, it's serious though. Yeah, really, really serious about you. The ranking for your pocket that do with it, you had a perfect opportunity, the once in a lifetime opportunity. June 7, where the momentum, the enthusiasm, the euphoria, the zeal was at its zenith. And you guys sat there, compromised the protest. And you won't be collecting few young people around to put in harm's way so that they can brutalize them. You think it's stupid? Nobody's stupid here, man. Nobody's stupid here. You ain't want to hold your way accountable, you lead your way, let your way out and steal. Hey, you want to hold you accountable, then you start making deal with him. You can be organizing protest and be in negotiation. You can do the both. It's not possible. It's either you are negotiating to cut the protest off. I see that thing before, sir. See where people go protest and you're negotiating on what thing? I thought I was negotiating the protest day in front of everybody. That's why everybody so have that conversation. They're going to a meeting with we stupid. You think we're stupid? Forget about that thing, man. A piece of cotton brand and taking small thing, collecting small thing on cover, making the whole religious something to their little funny in our face. My man, the old man. Samuel 12 go sit down somewhere, man. Samuel 12 back. Go sit down somewhere. Means of 12. Be like. The day you walk on the show, let us know. Siku, me, or tell me either one or just reach out to any one of the team. The other people that in the back, you don't know them. So that us you know, that our faces you can see. So that's what happened to the protest. That's why the protest is not respected in our country today. That's why the government is emboldened. Right now, you go sit down somewhere, man. You need to party point your emotional, corrupt people. You go sit down somewhere. Nobody got time for you, man. Nobody got time for you. You go sit down somewhere. We discussing serious minded people that you're passing around by your foolishness. We not get time for that. No, you don't. People pay the way they go do them, go do them. The people then who leading them who went to protest, then do nothing that they don't want to go do something. You serious? You see how you can be daydreaming? You go sit down somewhere. You're living in a different world. But anyway, let's get to seriousness. Yesterday, got one or two. Listen to somebody did some recording about and from the boss of LACC. This is very troubling. This man literally indicted all three branches of government when he was asked the question if the president is serious in fighting corruption. The man indicted all three branches of government, all three of them, that they connive to corrupt Liberian people. I was disturbed when I heard that. That is very problematic. Very, very problematic. You know what it means? You know what it means? You know what it really, really means? But say one of the B men to our B men here, me getting direct go. Me getting direct go. It gets harder every day for you. Anyways. Now let me make something clear before we move forward. Let me make something clear and we'll play one song and get back here. Hopefully by that time Vandela is ready to pop on or hop on here. Let me make something clear quick. I'm in no way, shape, or form in support of any violence against anybody. I don't support violence. I don't think violence against anyone should be supported. I don't want anybody to think that I support any kind of violence against anyone. I don't. But here's what I said and I stand by. The government don't take you seriously in terms of protests. Period. It's because of your history. It's because what they've been able to do to infiltrate, manipulate, dilute protest. Simple put. Simple and simple. Means a summer to go sit down somewhere. I don't need to look for relevance on the criminal regime. The criminal regime and incompetent regime that you serving and you yourself you're incompetent. I only in Liberia you can excel. I challenge you. You can excel out of Liberia. So shut up and sit down. Go find somewhere to sit down. You don't want to bring that foolishness here. We're in Accra, we're not me and you. Nope, we're not on that level. So I don't need to look for any kind of relevance on a criminal regime. Nope. It's proven that you're incompetent, whether you like it or not. Over 5 years, you've been able to do nothing but to talk a bunch of nonsense. Even the so-called intellectual that you claim to be, that you guys can be talking a bunch of foolishness. You'll keep passing it around talking to you, but your time is out anyways. So let's see after that, what's up next? Whether you choose to distance this pseudonym from you or not, you can rest assured that it is you. And that any page you create, you got pre-scout portal. Go tell the foolish people that call you at night to collect money from you. Go tell them that. Don't tell me that. We're not on the same level. We're not in the same game. Nope. We don't play in the same league. Play in a corrupt league? I don't. Yeah, I will never play in a corrupt league. But let's move on because you are not important. You are not important. If you're serious, you'll come on this platform. So, speak against the violence that happened. I think it's wrong. I've seen the video. But who will be held accountable? These people will not hold anybody accountable, to be quite honest. And that's why I said, don't put these young people in harm's way. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's wrong. Don't do that. It is absolutely wrong. Don't do that. You know you're making different deals behind closed door. Some of you are setting these children up. These young people. I hope the young people will just rise up and open their eyes. If these guys want to use your whatever for protest or counter protest, let them come in front. Let them come in front. They shouldn't be hiding behind and calling you and say you'll go counter protest or you'll go protest. Then they're hiding. This goes to the opposition. If you want to hold the government available, if you want to hold the government accountable, then you'll come together as a. We don't insult on this platform. One more insult, you are gone. You have to come out with another fake page, Mr. Twed. We do not use foul words on this platform. You can communicate here without insulting, please. We don't use curse words here, I beg you. Go to the cousin show then, yeah? Here we don't cuss. One more, you'll be sent for safekeeping, then you have to come out with another fake page. And when you come with a fake page, I'll call you out again. Anyways, that's what, then the opposition needs to come together and hold a protest. Let the opposition leaders be there. Let those who want to be part of the protest, let them be there. You know, simple. That is just as simple as drinking water. That's all we can do. That is just as simple as drinking water, as opposed to all the extra things that's being done, you know, or that you guys are doing. It's again, bottom line, it would have been hard for this protest to hold like it was expected to hold. But let's get to the musical break really quick. We'll be back. Again, the name that you're seeing, Samuel Twed Pickens Jr., that's Samuel Minister Samuel Twed. Dying. You even know what's up. Happy 26, to all of you. Happy 26.
This one a real one. Who Yankee? I'm a race got a long time. Lyrical, mash up the place.
You not able to take care of Babu Nebo. You not able to bust the rata Babu Nebo. Also, ja monkey kamda, oh monkey kamda, or monkey kamda. Moki come down to you. Moki gonna down to you. Moki, Osoja Moki come down to you. Moki come down to you. Moki come down to you. Once upon the time, in the jungle, there lived so many animals and so many trees. During the day, there were no restrictions. Anytime, any day, anyone used to corrupt and go stay free in the jungle, yeah. After they realized that everything was good, I said everyone were only after the food. Majority of the people went beyond baboon, and few people went beyond okay. The headers of the time made a big mistake. After election, they went and made a selection. So the citizen of the jungle was unsatisfied, so they decided choosing another caretaker. Who love, who care, who has ability, taking care of the people. Okay, you're not able to take care of baboon able. You're not able to bust the rata baboon able. Oh, Soja Monkey come down. Oh, Monkey come down. Monkey come down. Oh, Rob Monkey come down. Monkey come down to you. Monkey gonna down to you. Monkey, oh, Soja Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Monkey chop chop chop. Monkey cannot get tired. Monkey chop chop yo. Monkey cannot get tired. Monkey chop chop chop. Monkey cannot get tired. Monkey chop chop yo. Monkey cannot get tired.
Keeping banana and the chop stealing is a error. Corruption is a error.
Monkey cannot get tired.
Hey, we wanna live life. That's to live a good life. We wanna live life. We wanna live for better life. We wanna live life. That's to live for better life. We wanna live life. That's to live for better life. We wanna live life. That's to live for better life.
You're not able to take care of baboon able. You're not able to bust the rata baboon able. Oh, Soja Monkey come down. Oh, Monkey come down. Monkey come down. Oh, Rob Monkey come down. Monkey come down to you. Monkey gonna down to you. Monkey, oh, Soja Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you.
Baboon storm, monkey listen. You give it right, it can practice. Baboon storm, monkey listen. You give it stick, it can break it. We do your long time at Buddha, best of monkey was very wicked. If we are here with your apple, then your do that love is wicked. Monkey see apple, they pick it. Banana and plum, they take it. All the cuckoo food in your pocket. If when give it something, lick it. Monkey drop it, and drop it. Nana, only baboon can stop it. Monkey drop it, and drop it. Nana, only baboon can stop it. It's for all African monkeys. All I want for them to rip it. Monkeys jump from tree to tree, hustle hustle. It ready get sick. Monkeys jump from tree to tree, hustle hustle. When I it ready get sick. Two back when monkey we catch it. That one it will not be easy. How you read? How you read? My people I say it wicked. How you read? How you read? My people I say it
Monkey, you not able to take care of baboon able. You not able to bust the rata baboon able. Oh, Soja Monkey come down. Oh, Monkey come down. Soja Monkey come down. Oh, Rob Monkey come down. Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Monkey, oh, Soja Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Monkey come down to you. Don't jam a monkey say that away home. Don't small monkey say away home. On top of monkey say away home. Oh monkey say that away home. Away home. Away home. Away home. Away home. Let me know away home. Away home. Away home. My people.
In my honest opinion, our guest has asked for 5 minutes or so that he can be on. In my honest opinion, I think Liberians really do love Liberia though, especially those of us in the diaspora. To be quite honest, um, we don't get appreciated. We don't get shown the love that we. It's not reciprocated to some extent, but we do care about our country. We do. We love our country a lot. Again, I'll say it. We love our country a lot. I see that every day in Liberians all around the world, especially those in the diaspora. Can you imagine Liberians all around the world set up time to celebrate the July 26th? Not only that, we introduce our children to this celebration. We invite other people. We make sure other communities are involved. We've not come to different countries and just assimilated and forgotten about our culture or about our holidays or Liberia or so forth. Not only that, we give back a lot to our country. So yes, we must be appreciated. Liberians from or in the diaspora must be appreciated. And thank you for staying and sticking with us. Vandela asked for 5 more minutes and he would be here with us. But he was also told that we run for 2 hours. So once the 2 hour time is up, we will have to leave. We're not adding another hour there. No, that's not how it works. We stick with the time. So he's aware of the time. So don't worry. We'll not keep you here past our time. We have to respect, our timing. And also we have to respect other people as well. Other people come on. And so we have to respect them and allow them to, do their thing or come and do their own thing too. So we have to respect them. It has to be reciprocated. But on some serious note, like I said to you before, President Weah understands the media. President George Weah understands the media. The releasing of whatever song he just released or whatever, which, by the way, I think it's irresponsible. It's insensitive. I have said it before. I'll say it again. It's insensitive. It's irresponsible. It's very irresponsible and very insensitive. Yes, the guest is running late, but he will be here in the next 5 minutes. But like I said, we're not going to extend the time. That's not going to happen. When the 2 hours are out, we will be out because we got to move. Today it's a good day, so we try to accommodate. But yes, he has been running late almost an hour. That is 100% truth. But the president decided to release this album as a distraction. He decided to release this album as a distraction. For those of you who think this is a joking thing, it's not a joking thing. For those of you who think it's entertainment, it's not entertainment. Even in countries where people have the economy, have other things going, they don't pass around be releasing albums. Talk more about Liberia that is seriously struggling in these times. You talking about releasing album? Okay. in the midst of everything that's going on with the corruption, with all of the scandals and everything that is happening with the LACC, but we'll be here on Thursday to dig into that LACC conversation and talk more about it. We'll be here on Thursday for that. All right, I think our guest is here. So I would bring him on so that we can get, he has 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's what we have left. We'll take that.
My dear brother, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. What's going on? You in car today? What's going on? You going over your 26 or what?
And interestingly, I had a very good engagement today in Washington, D.C. I'm part of a group of human rights defenders from around the world that I have been selected to look at, the upcoming Africa Summit. The United States government is hosting all African leaders in December with respect to the U.S. Africa Summit. So some of us as critical thinkers, we were invited here in Washington, D.C. with some specific individuals and institutions. For the sake of privacy, I won't be naming them. So we held a series of meetings today. We are looking at the opportunities for Africa. We are also not very clear about in terms of those who are supposed to be, invited or not, because if you don't subscribe to democratic values and principles, and that is the foundation of American ideals, we don't think you should come. We don't also think that when you come, you should not talk. And even when you talk to any other areas. So these were discussions that we had today. So since this morning, we have been having a series of meetings with key stakeholders from the U.S. State Department and other international organizations that are also aligned with our own philosophies in terms of countries that do not subscribe to democratic values and principles. We don't think they should come here and talk. So we were very clear about that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being on. I know this is overdue. We had some switch in schedules from our end that led us to today, and we did communicate them with you. However, you were flexible enough, we have to admit, you were flexible enough to say, okay, fine, I totally understand. But again, this is overdue. So we felt the need to pay back because we had to do what is right. We had an agreement and we could not keep up because of different reasons. So we're here today. Here we are. Some of our viewers, our followers, and our listeners might not know who you are. They might have heard the name. So we want to give you the opportunity to please introduce or reintroduce yourself to us.
Well, you're supposed to introduce me, my man. How will you say your followers don't know me?
You know,
So you brought me into your home so to tell the people who I am.
If I introduce you, the people will say that Lofa solidarity or that Kakata or Magibi solidarity. So I don't want to put myself in a situation I can handle. So please.
Well, to your listening public, my name is Vandalark Patricks. Vandalark R Patricks. And so some of you might not know the Rastafari. I used to be a very good soccer player. So the name Rastafari came as a result of my soccer skill. So the name is Vandalark Patricks. I was born and raised in Margibi, specifically in Firestone. My late father, who worked for Firestone Plantations Company, I expired sometime in 2011. He was uneducated. My mother is a Billabong seller. And of course, I was born during a period where poverty was entrenched in Firestone. My late father monthly salary exceeded over $100 a month. So because of that, I was identified by the economic status of my parents, Tapo's son, as they used to call me. I saw Billabong, I saw oil in Firestone Division 44, 42, Cotton Tree, and Sumanote Dulos time. And I had the time to attend the Habel Model Lateral High School. I graduated 1999. Some of you listening to this podcast were not born at that time, and some of you were still around, my big comrades. And I had to live as a yard boy or husband with somebody in Habel Hills. It was the elite era at that time. And so some of us found our way there and to just voluntarily work for people so that they can give us an opportunity to go to school. So I went to Cottington and in 2003 and I graduated 2008. And I decided to be a voice, because the conditions in which I was born did not improve at the time. And since that time, my activism actually started in 1999 when I was very young in high school. And I remember my first project was to ask the removal of my former principal, Mr. Roske Boo. I didn't do it with any kind of hatred because I felt that she was trying to align with Firestone management to take over the only government school, Habel Multilateral High, and turn it into a company school. So at that time, I was the press director of Habel Multilateral High, and I felt it was wrong and it stood up. So that inspired me to be a voice. So even when I went to Cottington, I was expelled from Cottington University in 2007 because I have led a protest because of the unnecessary increment of tuition fees. And of course, academic activities were stalled. There were poor quality education. And interestingly, I was on a university scholarship. But I led the protest based on morality because I felt it was not about me. I felt I could keep my mouth shut, graduate and move. But I led the protest. And I remember President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf went there and asked me, young man, you are on the university scholarship. Why did you do this? And I said, morally, it was wrong for somebody to speak against their conscience. And I was very professional in addressing, Madam President. So coming on the national scene, this is me. So I'm just trying to give people, the foundation that inspire me to be the kind of Vandalark I am today. I have no loyalty to an individual. I have loyalty to conscience. And once your conscience and I align, I value you for who you are. I don't have time for where you come from. And so this is me. For the past 15 years, I've been in activism. I am a product of Cottington University undergraduate and a master's degree program, all in public administration. And I recently graduated from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government with a master's degree in public policy and also as an Edward S. Mason Fellow, where I have a graduate diploma in public policy and management. So I'm on the overall front. Socially, I love soccer. I'm a Chelsea fan. And I have a son. He's called Joseph Mandela Patricks. He's 11 years old. He just celebrated his birthday, April 29. And of course, I have two biological siblings, one male, one female. My big brother is in Washington, D.C. So basically, this is me. I grew up in Firestone, specifically Division 44. When my father expired, we moved to Smith Notice, right near the Rabos International Airport. I know some of you have flown through Rabos International Airport. The fence you see around the airport, we constructed that airport. I made those fences around 1999. So when you ask who is Vandalark Patricks, this is me. On the political scene, I'm very controversial. I have no loyalty. Some people accuse me of opposition. The government will accuse me of opposition, and the opposition will accuse me of being a collaborator of the regime because I can see most of the comments here. So usually when people ask where are you, I always tell them that I'm on the law side. And the reason for that is it's good that people subscribe to the belief that open rebuke is better than secret praises. So basically, this is me. I'm a Christian. Let me just be very specific. I know somebody will want to ask that. My late father was a free thinker. He was now a Muslim, now a Christian, but I believe he was a free thinker. My biological mother is a Muslim, but I'm a Christian. My guardians, who are considered to be my mother also, she's a devoted, a Christian. So I'm very proud. This is the diversity that is in me. When you see Vandalark speaking on some issues, it's because of the diversity I come from or the diversity that I subscribe to. So again, Steve, thank you very much. And it's a privilege, to be on your platform this evening.
Thank you, Vandalark. We want to say congratulations to you. Even though we've done it a traditional way, which most people didn't know, we did a traditional way by going to meet the uncle in person to have a sit down. And thank you for for allowing me, at that time to come into. We came into Boston to visit you specifically. We had a very good and fruitful conversation. I just want to make that clear for the record. We have political, social conversations about the progress of Liberia, the young people, about things that you want to do, how you see Liberia and so forth. And sometimes it's just before we get into the questions, sometimes it's okay to hear people speak in open, but it's also okay for you to have a tete-a-tete, like the politicians would say, one-on-one conversation with someone to really get to know them. And I got to know you after our interaction in person. It was a good one. I learned a lot. I heard a lot from you. And ever since that day, I see you differently. Let me say it that way. I see you differently, which is a good thing. And I respect what you stand for. But that being said, since we've made a disclaimer so that it doesn't look like, we plotted anything or so forth. So you are here today. You've been a controversial figure, as many people would claim. Like you said earlier on, one day you're not for the government, another day you for the opposition, you're not opposition man, you government man. Lots of accusations have been going forth. But I want to ask you a general question, first of all. Today is July 26th. We are 175 years old today as a nation, as a people. What do you think is wrong with us? What can we do?
Fundamentally, I want people to retrospect on the historical nature of Liberia's independence. I think we gained our independence based on anger. That's why Liberia is angry. Liberia is underdeveloped. I know the historian will talk about the Little Bang affairs. As a student of history, you cannot be a human rights defender and a politician. I am not a politician. Let me just make that, but I'm just trying to reflect this. That the Little Bang affairs, because the violations of Liberia's custom laws, as we were told, and people were taking advantage of our custom laws. They were not paying taxes in Great Britain and France. So the settlers who left from here, and the reason for that is these were the same violations they experienced when they were in slavery. They were under bondage. So to see countries that practiced racism at the time and slavery going to Liberia, their new home, and they were violating the custom laws of the Republic of Liberia after they became a republic, a colony. They felt that nonsense needed to stop. And so William V. S. Tubman then communicated, not William V. S. Tubman, but Joseph J. Roberts, communicated to the League of Nations at the time. And the only alternative they had was you have to declare yourselves a sovereign state so that these things will not happen. So Liberia went and declared its independence with the understanding that people will be held accountable. There will be rules and order, that no one will violate the rights of any individuals. So from that time to this time, there has been some progress that was made. And I don't want to stay on your platform to say We have not achieved anything. We have achieved, but comparatively speaking, if you compare our achievement with our failures, I think our failures are more than the achievement. And so today, I see a lot of Liberians, on the street. There's a protest in Liberia. I watch sometimes, I see the Student Unification Party is protesting. And I see most of our mothers, they are going to bed hungry. They don't have food to eat. I see some people are making relative gains. So for me, as a Liberian, I want to be very grateful that I have right to nationality. Where I was born, it's good to have a nationality. No matter how poor your country is, it is good to have a nationality where you belong. The bottom line is, how do we fight to make sure that that nationality is reflected to be significant? Liberia cannot be a beacon throughout our lives. We want to reposition Liberia as a fraternal partner in the developing world rather than a beacon. So if you ask me why do I make of the Independence Day, I think there were a lot of missteps along the way based on greed for power. Tribalism has destroyed our country. Even if you are a better person, the fact that you come from certain ethnic group, people will not elect you. Of course, religious inconsistency that has also metamorphosed into the body politics of the country. There are people in our country, they can't be leaders because they come from certain religious background. As soon as they get into politics, these cells are activated, and religion, ethnicity do not develop any country, because when poverty comes into the country, religion and poverty, the poverty does not look at that. The poverty will go after everybody. So I see that civic education is lacking for us to resuscitate our minds where we were years ago. I think the government in the past deliberately took civic education from, the curriculum of the Republic of Liberia to inspire people, to have that sense of citizenship. So it's a problem for us. Article 10 of the Liberian Constitution states clearly that the Constitution and its provisions should be taught in all institutions of learning in the Republic of Liberia. Unfortunately, we have gone almost 30 decades. It has not been taught, and so that's why people are oblivious. They are very forgetful. So today's independence, I only celebrate because it gave me the right to nationality. But in terms of achievement, we got nothing to boast about. The roads are bad, corruption is entrenched. And so I'm just saddened that by this time, the first independent country on the continent of Africa will have been leaping into national development. The countries around the world today will have flown. I don't know how many presidents went to Liberia to celebrate Liberia's independence, but the entire Africa should have been in Liberia today, because we laid the foundation for their independence. We were the decision maker as to who should have independence and who should not have independence. But today we are the beggars of Africa. Today we are the stooges of Africa. Today we are the poorest in Africa. So this is where I stand. But I'm happy that you asked this question. And so when you ask me where I stand, this is me. This is my position.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. What I would please request from you would be, let's make the answers as brief as possible so that we have more questions in, because we have a lot to cover in a very short period of time. Please, if you can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm not getting it. You said what? Come again?
I said my recommendation would be, please make your answers brief so that we can have enough questions in.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's get to some things that you've said about the country and the leadership. It is on record that you supported the CDC-led government. You and others brought the CDC-led government on the Liberian people, or where we are today. So What is your position today with the CDC-led government? What do you have to say about what's going on? Because whether you like it or not, we can blame the past, but we're in the present, and there are a lot of things going on. What do you say? Someone could blame you for being the enabler. Also, what do you say?
So I think fundamentally the CDC has failed the country. I don't know whether some of you still believe in the CDC, but I still believe that the CDC has failed us. And I have no regret for that. In fact, I stated that from the time the president appointed his first cabinet. At the moment he took, I think he took 3 weeks to appoint his cabinet. It was when I said that the president, and I'm on record for that the president has failed the nation. And other people said that I was emotional because the president has not even taken office officially. And why would I make that conclusion? And my suggestion or recommendations or arguments was that the leaders start to fail from the beginning, not at the end. Supporting the CDC was based on moral necessity. It was also based on constitutional values. As a Liberian, I have the right to decide who I want to be my president.
Right.
I have the right to decide who should be my senator or representative. So it was based on my constitutional value or obligation. We voted the CDC. On the basis of morality, I felt that I had a time as a rights activist who has experienced the dismal performance of the UP-led government, where critical voices were executed, they were murdered under mysterious circumstances, and where the sitting head of state confessed that the government squandered opportunities and that corruption was a vampire, meaning corruption took away human form to become a spirit, because vampires are spirit, meaning corruption was not seen under the UP-led government. That statement did not come from me. And in order to even validate that statement, when we supported the CDC, the UP-led government only won Lofa County out of the 15 counties. So one will ask, if this government has stayed in power for 12 years, why would they lose the second round of the election by winning only Lofa County and not all the other counties they claim to have carried on development? So that was also a form of validation that the UP-led government, it was not only Vandalark Party that was angry with the UP-led government, because I did not travel in all of those countries. I stayed right here in the United States because I was on a fellowship. And the Liberian people who were on the ground, they voted against the UP-led government in 14 counties. And only in Lofa County that they did not vote against because they started barracking from there. So one would surmise that the UP government did not only disappoint me as an individual, but they disappointed so many people in the other countries. So right now, if you ask me where I stand, like I said to you, the CDC-led government has failed the Liberian people. And if you see me batching at the opposition, because I still believe they want to play the card of the government. They want to compare themselves with the government. We know the government has failed. So what better alternative do you present so the Liberian people cannot be frustrated? Because an opposition is a government in waiting. So if you begin to behave like the corrupt regime we see, it means you are no different from them. So this is where sometimes I get angry, and I want to apologize for some of you who might have felt bad, but I'm acting on moral necessity and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So when I rebuke the government when they do bad, and I rebuke the opposition, so this is the position I stand on.
Thank you. Former Minister Eugene Lamine Fagon, I will bring you on. Please hang on, please. Let's get this rolling with Vandalark. You will come on, that's for a fact. I would send you the link, but please hang on, Mr. Fagon. I think this conversation is getting interesting. Vandalark is making some very, and thank you so much for providing clarity and context into this conversation. But let me go up to something that you wrote almost 3 months ago. I think is critically important because I follow all of your writings. Let me say that. You and everyone I'm friends with or that I follow, whether you write a big book or whatever, I read everything. And so you wrote a piece on March 12th. March 12th. And this is how you entitle the piece that you wrote on May 12th, not March, May 12th. So essentially August 12th would make it about 3 months. This is the title of what you wrote. The CPP bloody conflict is the beginning of a blame game in 2023. But then, interestingly, you said something in the 11th paragraph I want to read to you. It was your own words, but I want to read it to the public so that we can have some context here for this question. This is what you wrote. I know why you're laughing, because you know exactly what you wrote. The testimony of the testimony of Vice President Joseph Yoman Boakai also hurt supporters of Cummins, silent voters, and those who support change. Some UP members are not happy with their standard bearer testifying against his friend in court. They think it is an act of betrayal. A strategic political leader can avoid this type of sticky issue. Boakai is likely to be regarded as a betrayer, regardless of whether he tells the truth or not, because the government Boakai wants to unseat democratically will benefit from this testimony, unquote. This is what I want to ask you. I know you spoke of the government. I want to ask you about the opposition. Mr. Patrick, please. I'm in a very serious mood.
Yeah, I'm like, you are very strategic. You took me off balance, but go ahead.
I want to ask you about the opposition. Considering the government is doing miserably wrong, as you've stated, it is by evidence. What do you say of the opposition as well? What do you think about the opposition? What do you make of the opposition?
So before I come to my position on the opposition, I like to go in detail. And I thank you that, you have gone into my catacomb to and dig and bring and resuscitate. And you were asking the same question in 2023. I was not thinking about May 12th. I was thinking about the future. Every time I write, I don't look at that. That's why I don't delete my post.
Right.
No. I felt that Ambassador Boakai politically because Ambassador Boakai, Alexander Cummins, they have one common enemy, that is the government. So imagine one of your brothers is going to testify for the enemy. Enemy in this context, I want to say political enemy. It undermines the democratic values and principles. Let's be honest. Whether he says the truth or not, the government will benefit. And the government benefited significantly. That at least one opposition member was very deceptive to have appeared before the court to testify. That should not have happened. And I also said that maturity, I'm sure you didn't read that, maturity needed to be exercised. It does not make sense during a political season that two political leaders will be at local head and don't put law for country first, but put law for legality number one. And I always like to give this example. We held Ellen feet onto the fire on April 12th. Today we are still being accused that we took bribe. But we put law for country first and we say, you know what, we'll take the blame. Anything like when people want to say about us, let us say it, but we'll listen to the traditional elders and the international community that the protest should not go on. Zanzan Kawa and all the other embassies, they talk to all, including the current the former vice president, and we listen. So when you asked me at that time, I think it was fundamentally wrong for Ambassador Boakai to have gone and testify against his brother. He needed to exercise leadership. The guys we call the Zogos, there is a song. They say no war ends on the battlefield. If people like us, Vandalark parties, who the political leaders call all their children, we can put law for country. You think we couldn't say we'll not listen to you, we'll protest April 12, and anything happen, more happy? We could do it. But the people back up, we listen. So when you ask me my position on the opposition, I think the opposition is fragmented. The opposition needs to understand that they are the government in waiting. So these kinds of hulu balus and here and there, it does not make sense. And let me be very clear to you guys. I know some people will not like this, but I think from the beginning, I was against the formation of the CPP, especially with the inclusion of the Unity Party involved. Because at the end of the day, Joseph Bagan wants to be president, Alexander wants to be president, Benana Ure wants to be president, and the late Charles Walker Bromsky wanted to be president. And we all knew, or personally, I felt that the United Party will never ever settle for any VP position because they have already served in that capacity. All other Bali who agreed to go into the CPP, in my mind, they agreed that they could settle for the vice president position. And that's why I did not want that to happen. And I stated that clearly. But again, they did not listen. I think the opposition still have a better chance. They can recalibrate, and I propose this. Can we have a national conference on the future of Liberia on the part of the opposition community? Can we bring all the opposition parties together? We have a national conference. I proposed it to the government before that you cannot be effective and efficient in leading the country when people are scattered. President Weah organized a national conference on the future of Liberia. They did not listen. So now I'm proposing this to the opposition. Whether Baga go second round, Kumi go second round, Kumi will need Baga vote. Or Baga will need Kumi vote. Whatever the case, if they choose to go separate ways, there is a need for us to set the basis of unification. If you love Liberia, you must put the interests of Liberia first. So the opposition, I think they still have a better chance. The government is fragmented. The government, if you listen to Lesser Tenny, Lesser Tenny is telling you that 2023, if they not put their ass together, they're not going to win. And I'm also telling you, if the opposition does not come together and set certain things straight, they will not also win. Whoever becomes the winner of the 2023 election that God decides. So that's it. If you ask me my position, that's me.
Well, that God decides, I like that saying. I want to ask you another question. You're an activist. You don't like to be referred to as politician, as you said here earlier in your own words. Would you support either side? If so, what would be the criteria for you to support anyone for 2023 elections, considering you have been very critical, controversial of both sides? You've criticized both sides at all times throughout. My question to you is, would you support anyone come 2023? If so, what would have to be the criteria for you to support someone?
So 2 reasons why I would support somebody 2023. I'm reaching out to these opposition leaders, including, in fact, the government, but they have not listened to me because I supported them and I've been giving them a recommendation. They have not listened. So that one is behind me now. The opposition, you remember when they brought in the CPP policy document, or the first person to criticize. They have not taken government, but they share all the positions that in order to be appointed in government, you must be a known, well-known, due pay, and blah, blah, blah. It was a violation of our constitution, and I brought it out and I rebuked them. They said open rebuke is better than secret praises. I was doing it based on sincerity, not hate for Kumis, Bwaka, Joseph Bwaka, how do you call him, Mr. Ure or Charles Bromsky. I was doing it in the interest of the country. Thank God they listened and they came, they said, they have revived that. I'm reaching out. People who are willing to take my recommendations, it set the basis for alignment. People who are not willing to take my recommendations, it set the basis for not aligning with them. Besides 2023, I will have to consult my constituent as to which direction should we go, but on the basis that the arguments they will present, it will be genuine, because a leader must shape the direction. But fundamentally, that's why I'm giving opportunities to all these individuals wanting to be president of Liberia. I always reach out to them. If I can't get them directly, I always meet their people. That's why I'm not afraid to attend any event organized by opposition. The government are giving them a lot. I send them emails. I have talked. If you look at my previous videos, I supported them and tell them what to do, but it has reached to a point that they are not willing to listen. So I am done with them. I feel that the opposition is a government in waiting, and as such, I expect them to conduct themselves as a government in waiting. So with my pieces of advice, my suggestions, I'm not saying I'm trying to influence decision or trying to present myself as a kingmaker. But whether you like it or not, I remain an authority, in an informal authority, to inform the Liberian people about what is necessary to be done on the part of the opposition and what is not necessary to be done by the part, or on the part of the opposition. The same applies to the government. So where I align in 2023 will depend on the responses I get from the opposition, their activities. If they maintain this kind of posture come 2023, I'm not very certain that any of them will get my support. I will just remain independent throughout. It will be the first time that I will just remain independent. But I don't want to be independent because I know there will be a process that will compare opposition leaders to really, reposition themselves and prioritize love for country over love for position or individuals.
There will be a time. Wow. Okay. Well, this is very interesting situation. Very interesting conversation based on what you just said. Mr. Patrick's, you've supported people. Somebody might say, well, you're an advocate, you're an activist. And there's been a lot of people that have also been wondering, any intent of running for any office in Liberia at any point?
So basically, I was in Liberia a couple of months ago, and recently I left from Liberia, and specifically in May. So I think it has come to a point where there's a need to make a significant transition. I've been an activist for the past 15 years plus. And there's a need to transition. And somebody was asking, why are you activists? You want to go into politics? And my response to them, I say, imagine President Weah decide to stay in office for 20 years. What will happen? Or what you expect? Sometimes when you occupy a certain space, you have to give chance for others to leave. So I feel that we have spoken from the outside. We have made significant impact. It is time to transform the system from within. Because you and I will talk, we hold people accountable in the code of public opinions, like on your platform, but we don't have the voting power to kick them out, to influence or to vote. So yes, I hear from Mike Gibby. I think it's time for intergenerational representation. Mike Gibby has been underrepresented at the Liberian Senate. If I ask you, name me 5 senators that are very prudent in terms of making public policy decisions, we discuss Delon here all the time because he tried to project a very good image about Maserado and representing the interests of the most vulnerable and marginalized community. But if I ask you what is the name of my senator in Margibi, you don't know because he's inactive. He has squandered opportunities. And I think this ideology of we are the future leaders of Liberia, I think that that concept needs to be deracinated from the minds of Liberians. I think that concept was only introduced to prevent progressive young people from contesting or aspiring for public office and to just be stooges forever. Like I always say, I think the days of being guinea pigs or political stooges, those days are over. Vandela believes that he can bring a new kind of representation at the level of the Liberian Senate, representing the people of Liberia. I'm going into politics. I'm transitioning from activism to elected public office. But that does not suggest that the values that I have acquired over the year as an activist will be taken away from me. I still remain an activist. That's my career and a public policy expert. Those careers will not be taken away from me. And it's almost like you go to China after 3 months, somebody say you are a Chinese. You are not a Chinese. But you going to China does not automatically qualify you to be a Chinese national. Going into politics as a career person, it will allow you to maintain the sanctity of that career. And I know there's this idea of collective guilt. Other people went there, they said the same thing, and they corrupted. But well, I think I still remain the only Vandela patriot in the Republic of Liberia. If there's any other Vandela, it may will be my nephew. So this is me. I'm making a significant transition from activism to elected public office. I'm not going into government. I'm not aspiring for public office because I want to get rich. But it is a protest that for too long, people who suffer millions of dollars suffer our people, impressing them into poverty, sign concession agreements for 30 years. For example, the only Rabos International Airport, that has that big hotel, the Farmington Hotel. For some of you who don't know, our lawmakers, our senators, they gave that hotels 30 years, tax break that they will not pay a dime to my Gibi County. They will operate on gratis. In other words, free of charge. So the question becomes, where do we have money to build my Gibi? Where do we have money to improve the lives of our people? Where do we have money to renovate schools and improve the healthcare sector? When few individuals sign concession and put the money in their pockets. I think Vandela Patriot wants to bring a new orientation. And this is me. And I'm hoping that those who are listening to the tone of my voice will understand that our entry into politics will bring new dynamism, bring new reflection, and set a new stage for the reincarnation of political activities in the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, so let me recap everything you just said because I asked you a strict basic question. You're running 2023 in a senatorial race. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, I am a candidate or will be a candidate, independent
Okay,
candidate for
and
the
you're running in
2023
Magidi,
senatorial race in Magidi.
and you're running in Magidi.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations to you, and thanks for. Uh, I'm not sure if you've done this on other platforms, especially in the diaspora. I'm not sure, but if we are the first, then thank you for, like we're saying in
This
America,
is the
spilling the beans. Go ahead, please.
this is the first platform that I have officially announced that I will be a candidate for the Senate race in Magidi County, and I was there in April. And just so you know, I am relocating to Liberia. I'm leaving from the United States latest August 15. You're not going to find me in the US. I'm leaving my comfort zone for the liberation of Liberians. I'm going to Liberia. This is no joke. I have everything. I have the career. I can live here, enjoy myself. The job that I will have here, nobody will even question me, my money and everything. But imagine if Dr. Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela had remained in their comfort zone. There will be no America with freedom of speech where you and I would sit and talk. There will be no South Africa. But today, everybody cannot live Liberia. I'm going back. That is my home. That is where I belong. The last time I visited, if we should change Liberia, you need people like us in the Senate to look at the faces of our leaders, no matter who they are, whether they are tall or short, to look in their faces and tell them that this is wrong. And I'm going to inspire a new breed of generational leaders to stand up, to see themselves as leaders of today, not leaders of tomorrow. The future they promised us 30 years ago, 50 years ago, the future is now. My Gibi was established 1984, December 15. They told us that we were the future leaders. 2005, we voted some of them. We were full soldiers. 2011, we were full soldiers. 2014, we were full soldiers. 2017, full soldiers. 2023, it is about time that they recognize the people they promised this future. If you and I, you, my dear brother or Steve, should change Liberia, the process is now. Liberia does not need OH leader to change the country. We need innovation and creativity. And this is what my agenda is very clear. We need intergenerational representation. If you promise all that the future is now, I mean, the future was yesterday, and yesterday is today, it means with the level of education, the sacrifices, and the activism, people must be given an opportunity to lead. Even in your old age, if your father is sitting here, he still want to go draw water, you say, Papa, sit down. Even when he has the energy, because it will be a disrespect to sit down and see your old father still working. And that's why, for me, I find out people who are 40 years and they're still looking up to their parents to support them. Poverty will not leave from your home very soon. So again, this is me, 2023. It's not based on appetite for power. I think this is a way we can better help to change the system. We talk. We protested in the U.S. We went to New York. We protested. We held placards. In fact, people used to call me the chief of protest in Liberia. But nothing has changed. So there must always be a form of transition from activism to public elected office. I think I've been trained as a public policy expert. The best era I can transform lives is to go into government. Mind you, I'm a student of government. Where do you expect me to work? Is to go into the public sector and reform the system. And so I think I bring a lot of credibility and innovation into the process. And so that's why I want to start with my GB.
You bring a lot of credibility into the process. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, Mr. Vandalark R. Patrick
and you must say Rastafari, please.
Rastafari Patrick he's just made an open statement that's very interesting. He's going to be running 2023. He's relocating to Liberia by next month, the middle of next month.
April 15.
Yes, August 15, right?
Or August 15, sorry. August 15.
Yes. This is, someone will say breaking news or however you want to term it as, but this is very interesting.
Steve, if you don't support me, you're not going to learn ROI because I have all access to our rivals. I will just say, use free time.
Man, don't bring my give me politics. Well, let's get to this is very interesting, VP. This is very, very interesting, and I think it's no joke, especially like you said, for the younger generation, the young people to take over, to get involved with the body politics. You got few more months. This requires a lot of resources, a lot of planning, a lot of work, especially you being away for a while. Would you please summarize really quick, because I want to get into other questions here. Would you please summarize how you intend on embarking on this journey?
So I'm a very generous man. I got two personalities, my public image and my private life. Everything I ever work for is to make people happy. Everything I ever work for is to create opportunities for people. I don't have to know you, who you are, the color of your skin, you Muslim, Christian, Pele, this and that. I don't have time for that. I just told you my diversity. And that informs my decision when I'm making critical decisions. Prior to coming here, I had a non-profit in Liberia called Campaigners for Change that I established in Liberia, specifically at the Cotton University. There is absolutely, and I want to say this clearly for the record, no young person in the Republic of Liberia has provided scholarship compared to Vandalark Patrick's. From Cottington, from 2006, there's no high school we operated in Bon, Maigibi, and Mosorado. No high school in Mosorado. I'm not talking about the one that came after 2016 that we did not give scholarship to. The Convent, the Bidoy Harris, J.J. Rabos, the Apostolic Foundation, all the SIN, the Catholic school in general. We provided scholarship because we believe that human resource capacity building was essential. In Maigibi, we provided a significant number of scholarships and giving macro loan to our parents. Interestingly, however, USAID project they call the Liberia Youth Fragility Assessment. Some of you who are listening, just Google Liberia Youth Fragility Assessment. You will see that Vandalark Patrick was recruited as one of those experts or enumerators to conduct research to inform the U.S. government what they needed to do to improve the lives of our people in Liberia. Interestingly, I was the only person hired from Maigibi. So over $40 million was pumped into that project. The BWI you see today, it came as a result. I'm talking about the refurbishing of BWI from 2009 to 2017, because right now it is completely down. So I've been working with my people. We've been providing a lot of international support to the people. I lobby for scholarship since I came here in the U.S. 2016 on a congressional fellowship. I brought almost 20 persons from Liberia here in the U.S., Canada, and of course, I think 3 persons supposed to be living for Australia through my network. Wherever I have an opportunity to lift somebody out of poverty, I will do it. So I've been working with my people. The records have been established. So right now on August 6th, Friends of Vandalark Patrick's in the United States are going to converge in the state of Pennsylvania to have a grand rally. Grand rally, they're going to raise some money to empower me so that we can carry on a lot of programs in the Republic of Liberia, specifically Maigibi. So I'm not affluent, I'm not a rich person, but I believe that I don't think Liberians are now prepared just to go after money. And the last time when I was there, I told them, I said, my pocket is not big like the Atlantic Ocean. And I gave them a parable. I said, a little boy had a bread in his hand. He asked his grandfather, grandfather, could you please tell me whether this bread is alive or dead? The grandfather looked at him for long. He said, the life of that bread is in your hand. And the reason for that, the grandfather has said the bread is alive. That little boy will squeeze that bread to die, and he makes the grandfather to look like a liar. The grandfather has said the bread is there. He will open his hand and the bread will fly. The grandfather will be a liar. So the grandfather, being very wise, he said the life of that bread is in your hand. The lives of my Gibeons, the development, everything, lie in their hand. I have a career, I have everything. Like I said, my being into the process is a protest. We can't be guinea pigs forever, only good for political experiments. I understand people have other dissenting views, but you cannot be trained as a doctor and you sit in a community and somebody is dying of malaria and you cannot offer service.
So,
This is a
Mr.
national
Patrick,
obligation, and
Mr.
so that's
Patrick,
why we are into this process.
Senator aspiring Mr. Patrick will hold you there. We don't use SKTV to run campaign, especially on a free level. I only ask you a simple question. Don't run campaign yet. We'll charge you. I'm telling you. So don't run
But I'm a
campaign.
contributor to this show. I'm a significant contributor.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can give you preferential. We can't do that. It will put in situation we can't handle. But anyways,
Okay.
let me go to something that you said about I remember. By the way, I got your invitation. Unfortunately, I want to say I wouldn't be able to attend because the same weekend we're having a July 26th celebration here in Arizona, so it's coinciding. But we'll talk behind closed door as to how we can contribute to the process because we're invited and we'll talk that. But here's something I want to point out to the audience. I'm not trying to.
But I'm inviting Sky TV. You need to come. You went to all of people.
My man, wait
You
now.
went to all of people
Wait,
events, so you got to come
wait,
to my event.
Mr.
There are
Patrick, wait
records
now.
that show that you attended all the events. So
Wait,
we are all, especially somebody being a contributor on your show, it will be
my man.
prudent enough to show up. I'm not
Wait,
demanding. I'm just trying to reflect.
But that's what I'm saying to you now, because we are in the court of public opinion. Before we go back to the questioning, we had the July 26th plan long time ago in the state of Arizona to schedule it on August 6th, the first week of August. So because of that, I'm confined and restrained from traveling till maybe after August the 6th. So I wouldn't be able to make it. However, you will still hear from me. We can talk that one, we lead that part. But let me go to something I want to corroborate here. I remember,
Okay.
I think a year or two ago, you had contacted me about, and we like to corroborate people's work. We never talk about this before in public, but I want to say for the record, you contacted me to help you recruit some young people who will benefit from the fellowship program. And I reached out to you when you contacted me. I missed your call. I reached out to you, and I said, "Mr. Patrick's, what's going on?" He said, "Well, this is a conversation I want for us to have." And we talked lengthily, and you explained to me what it was all about, what the goal is, what the intent was. And I thanked you for the idea, and we started the process in the joining. So, yes, to your point, you work with different people. At that time, we connected you with different people. Some of them you never knew from anywhere, you've never talked to before, but they were able to benefit from that scholarship program. So yes, we're aware of that, and we got to make it clear to the public. I'm not here to say, "Oh, I'm supporting your campaign" or not. I've not made an official position on that, but let's be honest and put where the rights belong. What you've done, this was in private. We did that work, and up until today, some people benefited from it. Some people from Monserrato, Magibi, you did a cross session. You didn't call me and say, "My man, let's just do our pull from Magibi." No, that was not what you did. You didn't restrict it to Magibi, and we're grateful. Some of these people now, they're doing their own thing. They benefited from the fellowship, scholarship, or program, however you want to term it. But let's move fast forward to you. Let's move fast forward to you because this is some of the Liberian people might be a little skeptical. They might have some reservations, especially Liberians in the diaspora who supported Senator Darius DeLong financially, physically, morally, spiritually, and so forth. Due to their overwhelming support, it hugely contributed to Senator Darius DeLong winning the election twice. However, Senator Darius DeLong signed on to the dual citizenship bill with lots of restrictions from Liberians in the diaspora, which I've termed as discriminatory. Other people have different nomenclature for that. My question to you is, how can we be guaranteed that if people in the diaspora support you, you wouldn't undermine their interest? What guarantee do we have?
And so let me say this to you. I like to be very clear. For me, this is Vandalark. People who know me, they know where I stand. And I have said this to the people of Margibi. There's an inch of corruption, scandal about Vandalark Patrick, and the person can provide proofs. I will back off from the race. I will not contest. I'm going into this process with a pure mind. I have told them where I worked before, where I school, any inch of corruption or scandals about me, I will back off. I think the people in the diaspora, I'm encouraging them to support change. When you support me, you don't support Vandalark, you support change in Liberia. Look, Steve, I was born in poverty, but poverty no longer lives in me. And I'm very proud of who I have come to be. I don't know good life. Don't see us pretending like things like that. Nothing can fool my eyes. I had a time to sit with former finance ministers in Liberia, telling me, my man, what you want? You know what I mean? A finance minister of the Republic of Liberia calling you and tell you what you want. My man, stop this talking. What you want? And I'm like, do the right thing. He said, my man, another thing. What you want? Tell us. You know what I mean? To sit with Robert Salif and he's looking in your eyes. He's telling you, he said, young man, don't kill yourself for Liberian people. They are deceptive. He said, you want money, I give you money. You want cars, I give you cars. And you look in the face of that man, he said, I'm not going to support you, I'm not believing what he's saying. It takes a man of courage. It takes a man of courage. When I was in poverty, at that time, I'm not even here in the US. I was being one of the most richest young men. I could take money. You can be rest assured. Let me give you one story. I graduated from high school in 1999. I never had money. I had to live as a houseboy in Harbour Hills. And the person felt sorry for me and sent me to Cottington. After 1 year, I retired then. There was no money to pay my school fees. The university decided to give me scholarship. But guess what? I led a protest against the university when it became corrupt. The current senator of Bon County, he was the then president of Cottington University. I remember when President Ellen Johnson went there and the people said, this is the guy that led the protest and he's on the university scholarship. Ellen said that my mind was not correct. In fact, in my expulsion letter, they said I should go to psychiatric home because I'm not correct in the head. How can you be on a university scholarship and you lead protests against them? I would have chosen to close my mouth. But I felt it was not about me. It was about the students whose rights were disenfranchised. Vandalark remains who I am. Nobody, I speak based on conviction. Anybody that is listening and watching, maybe they are only angry because I talk against their political leaders. But they know that Vandalark speaks the truth. I projected that the CPP before then, it was not going to hold because I saw the mistakes. People cost me here on your platform today where we are. So they can be rest assured. I'll be one person I will not compromise. Believe me, I will not compromise. My agenda remains. That's why I don't delete my videos. Keep this. Because tomorrow when I make a mistake, you will play for the Liberian people. Thank God you're reading my mate where something. You can't play this thing and say, this is what Vandalark said. And what I'm saying now in my mind, you know what is running in my mind? I'm thinking like 30 years or 50 years from now, they guy will play the same thing. And history will catch up with me. What if I contradict myself? Where will I be? So every time I speak, and I just speak like somebody who had diarrhea mouth. When I speak, I be thinking about, prior to coming to this show, I was thinking about what I'm going to say that I will subscribe to 40 years from now. That was what was in my head. and it will stay there. What I'm saying to you, Vandela can be the best. And those who in the diaspora, you support. I'm not DeLong. This is Vandela Patrick's. I just told you who I am. The thing I have been through. Do you know what it means to be at the NSA in custody and the government is negotiating with you and you refuse? Colonel Hoss, the deputy director for administration at the National Security Agency currently, he's saying, young man, you're giving us too much hard time. And I think you have a future. For the president to call you and you refuse job, it is an insult. I said, but it is not an insult because it is my right to work in government, not to work in government. If I refuse a job, that doesn't mean I disrespect the president. I don't just want to work in your government. I'm not prepared. I think I can better be an activist until certain things are done. So this is me, the people in the diaspora, and that's why I'm asking them to support me. The reason why people go to the Senate or the House of Representatives to corrupt, because we don't support one of us. We don't support. Here in the U.S., look at the guy in Georgia. You see what he's doing at the United States Congress? In 1 month, they raised $120 million for him. The people support people who stand for them. Like our musician and everybody in the diaspora, when they are said their rights are violated, they call us. We talk for them. We defend their rights. We advocate. But when we need them, they try to commercialize their talents. It are not deserved to take money to talk for you. Do you know the sacrifices we make? Look at a guy. They raped his 6-year-old daughter. I saw that thing, it made me cry. I felt so bad. They need voices like us. We need to make stringent laws in the Republic of Liberia.
Mr. Patrick.
When people are asking as to whether I will not be like the other, I don't believe that collective guilt should fall on me. I'm innocent to corruption.
Well, Mr. Patrick,
refined,
I will hold you there.
A better leader than what you take.
I will hold you there because we heard similar.
And that's why I wanted to clarify
that
you heard that before, and collective guilt should not be the condition where you will close the doors on other people who come in to change the system.
Well, I'll hold you there. We use Senator Darius DeLong as the yardstick here, considering he's been the most recent a politician that have benefited. He's benefited.
I am not a politician. I just told you.
I'm saying, Senator. Hold on. I mean, any question. I'm not saying you. I'm saying I'm using Senator Darius DeLong as a yardstick today because he's been one of the most recent politicians that has benefited from the diaspora. I didn't say you. I'm saying that my questions would be measured to him or in relation to him to some extent. So let me ask you this other question here because some of these questions maybe they were overlooked. People were mesmerized. People wanted so much change up to the point that maybe we forgot to ask some of the nitty-gritty questions, such as I'll ask to you. Would you get involved with a 30,000 or 45,000 car for the Senate? Hold on 1 second. Let me go down the list, please. And I would like a very short summary answer to yes or no, please, so that you can be on record. Will you get involved with a 30,000 or 45,000 car? Considering what's going on in the country, the economy, and how our people are suffering, as you enumerated, would you also get involved with the 30,000 payments and the senators have received for constituent break, however you want to term it, what kind of names they give them? Would you also get involved with the culture of Brian envelope? I'd like to hear from you about
that. Steve, and to your listening public, I don't like to beat my drum. That's all I can say.
I mean, you don't answer the direct question.
I come in. If you see me, have you heard anybody from the Unity Party coming out to bring facts? Vandela took this, like what they have done to all our activists? Nothing. You know why? I speak the truth and I stand by that. Vandela Patrick's, the day I'm elected senator, I pray they don't come around. You know what I will do? Thank God you will be around. I'll hold a national press conference and ask the GSA director to be seated. After the press conference, I'll give her the key. And I will be sending a message to the government. No government official rides any car that worth $25,000. Anything above $25,000 must be seized. So we use the money for development purposes. And I'll be advancing recommendations that the government must reduce the purchase of vehicles for public officials. Maybe only the minister, the rest. Imagine you buying five ministers, get 5 ministers. I mean, let's say one minister get 5 ministers. You get a minister, you get 2 deputy ministers, and one of them buying car, 60,000, 70,000, minister buying $100,000 car. We'll buy $25,000 car that in fact, pickup. We'll be recommending to the government of Liberia that call Toyota. That Toyota gave you like 300 cars or pickups. Every minister will use pickup because pickups are strong. We can save good money.
So in other words,
the rest of the pickup will be assigned for utility vehicles. So we can give you, if you are making 2,005, we can even make you to take $3,000 or $3,005. You buy your own car. We're not giving you gas slip. We increase your salary. You get your own car. When you get to work, from your office, you want to go any part of the city, any part of the country, you use a utility vehicle. The reason is every year somebody using $100,000 to buy a new car every budget year.
We don't have the luxury of time to go through your platform or your. I'd like for you to answer the direct questions, please, so that you can be on record. We want
I
to make
will
sure
not, and I repeat, I'm not going to take $30,000. $30,000.
You're not going to
take people are already being paid for that. Article 90B or C of the Liberian Constitution states clearly that no public official should withdraw from government cover twice. As a lawmaker, they pay you for legislative engagement and accessibility. So why should you appropriate, if I not 30,000, it's $34,000? Why should you appropriate $34,000 so that the people that you represent, they can talk to you? So the people can have accessibility to you. They say accessibility and engagement. So in essence, that $34,000 low guys appropriated, it means we pay them for them to come talk to us. Can you imagine that?
So Vandela, let's, because we don't have time.
I'm saying I'm not going to be such. I'm going to reject everything.
Okay. You're going to reject everything. I've heard similar words, but we'll hold you by what you've said.
And don't let me hold you there. You keep saying you have heard similar words. They say when your Christmas will be sweet, you can tell from the east. I just told you, including you, I'm putting you under condition. The day or anything you know about Vandalark, come on this platform discussing and call me. If there is an inch of corruption against Vandalark, you can provide proof. I will back off from the race. This is a challenge to you on your platform, to your listeners, and to the people of Margibi. When I was there in April, I said, if you can prove, I went to Cottington undergraduate, I went to Cottington graduate school, I worked with the National Investment Commission, I worked with the Liberian Senate, I'm now with the Campaigners for Change, and I work with the University of Maryland Capital Region Health, I work with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation in Washington, D.C., and I attended the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Anywhere you see an inch of corruption and you bring it up with facts, I will back off from this race, and I will never, ever in my lifetime contest any public office in the Republic of Liberia. This is an open challenge. It tells you I'm going into this process with credibility. And that's why I'm not going to be vulnerable to the voters. I'm going to tell them, your life is in your hand. That the story of that little boy with the bread in his hand asking his grandfather.
Anywhere you find an inch of corruption, I will back off from it.
Inch!
The words of Vandela Patrick. So anywhere you find an inch of corruption, you did not specify it. So because you've given us
I gave you places at work and the places at school.
Okay.
So don't make me your public. I say clearly. So I just want that record to be straight.
Thank,
I went to
thank you.
Coddington Graduate School. I work with the National Investment Commission. Richard Tobol, like my boss. Nate Bideo, like my former boss. I work with the Liberian Senate. Later, I came in the U.S. I work with the University of Maryland Capital Region Health, the biggest hospital in Maryland. And then later on, I work with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation before moving to Harvard Kennedy School of Government, where I graduated in 2001. Any of those areas that you know I work.
Because you have my research antenna moving now in different directions.
Oh yes, an inch. I'm not saying I said an inch. And you can provide proof, I will back off.
Okay, great. Thank you at least for providing context to this and also the scope. Because I wanted to go into different directions now, but we'll leave that alone.
But man, when you clean, you can't be afraid. You think what can be the stepping United Party people and picking the opposition? They can't talk. Because they know.
But anyways, it's a good conversation. We've gone 2 hours now.
But I get 30 minutes, yo.
No, we're not giving extra 30 minutes. So we gotta go. You know that a holiday today. We gotta go. Even though we say something for the poor in Labro, but we still gotta be encouraging them to enjoy.
So you want to go to toy eat chicken?
No. I'm not on that level. My man, let's discuss politics. I know. Anyway, Mr. Patrick, don't put me in a situation again here, please.
Okay, sir.
Anyways, I think I've sent a Eugene Fagon requested to come on. I've sent him the link. Let me see if he's still available. I have sent him the link. I just sent it to him not too long ago. Let me see. But I'm not hearing from him. I know he wanted to come on. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt here. So, Mr. Patrick, we actually really want to thank you. I don't want to bring this conversation to limitation for one political party, whether it's the Unity Party or so forth. That's why I kind of looked at the opposition in general. I don't want to make it look like the Unity Party. It is a public knowledge about what transpired between you and the Unity Party-led government. It is a public knowledge. And I don't also want to ask you about members of the leaders of the Unity Party, their role, individually as well. I would try not to go there.
But you are welcome.
Certain questions you wouldn't answer in public.
No, I'll answer. I'm a transparent person. And
because
like I said, this interview, I agree, both private and personal. I ask it because when you go into the public domain, it is good for people to know who you are. I just told you about integrity. Anything that you know, they say open rebuke is better than secret praises. Bring it here so the people can know. I'm giving you the opportunity to bring it here.
Let me open the line here so that others can participate. Let's see if we can get others to come on or ask one or two questions. Feel free to place your calls if you have any question or any concern for Mr. Patrick. And you were asking, we allocate the next 5 minutes for any interaction with the public. And then we'll probably go from there to get your parting comment for the day. Again, before you go to Liberia, hopefully we can schedule another interview with the full panel. So we'll be checking on your availability in the back end. Are you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yes, we'll be checking on your availability in the back end here so that we can schedule another interview with a full panel. Maybe they have questions from other angles that I did not cover today. I think it would be good. I know we have a lot to talk about before the elections. You would also have to present. I know you're trying to present your platform here, but we just brush over it. We want to find time to scrutinize your platform openly. What do you intend to do? What are some projects?
And I will email it to you. I will email it to you at the end of
Yes,
this show, so you can have time
please,
to read
please,
more.
so we can have exactly, so we can have time to go over it and see what's realistic and applicable for and to our people at this time. But let me ask you this last question, and I'd like a
Yeah, you said you were
okay.
taking calls. You
Yes,
didn't announce the number. I don't know whether people are following.
the number is on. Hello, caller. Hello, are you calling to partake on the show? Okay, hold on. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
I'm Bokai Aaron calling from Iowa, Waterloo.
Baka Aaron calling from Iowa, Waterloo. What's your question or concern for Mr. Patrick's here today?
Yeah, my concern to Patrick is that as a leader, when you start off first and you have the ambition, you have to respect another leader. Mr. Patrick is in the habit of bad mouthing the external bearer of the Unity Party, Mr. Joseph Bokai. And now he wants the Unity Party supporters to support him because he urging that he want to go in for the public, for everybody, the Unity Party or if it's citizen or anybody else. And he always in the habit of bad mouthing people in the Unity Party. Those people in the Unity Party, some of them are corrupt. That I must admit. But not everyone that in the Unity Party are bad. But he generalized everybody that they are corrupt, they are this and that. And now he wants the support of all Liberians. Isn't it wrong in the sense of what he's doing? Or is he maintaining his attitude towards all Unity Parties? That's my question.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
So, Steve, what did he say?
So basically, his concern is you've been bad mouthing the standard bearer. Joseph Yuma Bwaga, now you want a Unity Party partisan. Do you still stand by your bad mouthing of the Unity Party and the standard bearer? Hold on 1 second. You answer those questions.
Let me say this.
Hold on. Vandela, we can't do each question at a time. Let's get all of the questions.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? Yeah, you got to turn on. Please turn on the monitor.
Can you hear me?
Please.
Hello?
My man, I can hear myself. When I hear my voice, it's looking funny. Please turn on the monitor. The thing you listen to behind it, turn it down, please.
Okay, I just turned it on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you so much. Okay. What's your name and where you calling from, please?
Yeah, my name is Donald Richards. I'm calling from Minnesota, New Hope.
Yes.
To be precise. I'm calling relative to my friend Vandalark R. I'm hearing his position on support for either opposition or the current political party. Is Vandalark actually ascribing to the fact that the current state of the CDC government, as it's been ran or something like that, if his ideas were to be accepted by the current government, is he still trying to say that he's going to be in full support of the government as it stands? It's kind of confusing to me. So
did you hear the question?
That clear. The second part to that question is
no, I didn't get the first question.
Hold on. He said you didn't. Hold on. You slow down, please. Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, so the first part of the question has to do with his position. I think he mentioned in this interview that his decision as to who to support in the upcoming 2023 elections has to do with his. Wait, hang on. Let me turn this down. Has to do with whether or not they accept his ideas moving forward. So I'm trying to say is the way in which the CDC is currently structured and the way in which it's ran. if the current administration is to support his ideas right now, is he still going to go with the still regime, or is he going to stick with opposition? That wasn't really clear. And the second part to that question has to do with, is he going to be flexible, or is he going to have a second, let's say, a program or rally or whatever for his electoral bid in Liberia? Because I know one is scheduled for this coming August. Would that be future campaign or programs or whatever scheduled in the future for those that cannot make it right now? Thank you. Have a nice day. Richard Donald.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for your questions. Let me get the last caller here. He just called. Let me call him back. And then you can answer those questions and give us your closing comment. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Hi, my name is Ben. I'm calling the Undercover Citizen. How are you?
Yes, Ben, Undercover Citizen. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Minnesota. I have some concerns with what you guys are talking about, and I want Patrick to tell me how is he going to make a change. We all know that almost everybody in the Senate are not there for any good. I mean, the easy excuse that people use now is that, you know, it's just me alone. One person cannot change anything. So if that is going to be your excuse in the near future, why do you want to destroy your already good character that you have, knowing that tomorrow you will come back with the same excuse that one person cannot make a change?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Vandalark, can you please address those questions?
So, undercover citizen, I don't think I real need it. It can be undercover citizen. You got to give your real name. But I understand the concern. I want your listening public to understand that one person can change the country. I don't subscribe to those archaic ideologies. I don't subscribe to those myths. One man can change the country. Changing a country is inspiration. The reason why Steve is on the radio today, because of inspiration. He did not wake up one day, he said he wants to be. He saw other people doing it, he was inspired. One man can inspire a whole country. And I will inspire. My concept of senatorial representation, especially in the context of county representation, is to run Mike Gibby like a country. Mike Gibby has $425,000 in the budget. Mike Gibby has a population of 215,000 person. What 215,000 person can do with $425,000? That is a chicken change. We must run Mike Gibby like a country. Raise our own revenue. Travel abroad. Look for investors. Look for scholarship for our people. Re-equip the BWI. BWI was established 1929. But right, BWI is the MRT in Africa, 1929, when other countries, they're not even getting their independence. Today, BWI cannot even offer AA degree. What has happened to Liberia? Under Charles D.B. King, BWI was built with the purpose of producing male-level professionals. Today, we're still going to Ghana to bring electricians to put lamp around the city. My concept is to run my Gibby like a country. That's my concept. It's not to depend on the $30,000 where leadership development is surrounded around a senator. Like the senator carrying this project, like the senator doing the other one. That nonsense has to stop. We must build an inclusive agenda where everybody is reflected. When I'm traveling to Europe, I want to go with a whole delegation. The president of Liberia can go to France and go look for money. Why do you think that the country cannot go as a delegation to go to France, China, America, other parts of the world to look for money, to look for investors? My Gibby is a tourist site. And I think with my ideas in tourism, with the level of connections, that we are making. And just so you know, I'll be leaving for Europe, hopefully in September, to meet with other investors. I'm not going to be waiting until I'm elected senator. I'm not going to wait. My concept is to write and to develop my Gibi like a country. So when people are asking me, what are you going to be doing different? In fact, the first thing, which of your senator you know have online presence? Just Google their name. You all see them linked to newspapers. When they come here in the US, that's why many of them don't have contact around the world. Because when they come, the people want to read more about them. They can't even find it anywhere. They all see them in the newspaper article, all they stole or somebody stole from them. No website to know what kind of legislative politics, or work they are carrying on, what is their agenda, what they are doing, how they are developing, improving the lives of their people. You don't see it. So that concept has to be changed. So my thing is, want to reform the Senate. There are a lot of things we can do to inspire confidence. If one man say they are not sitting, even in your organization, every time you take Bradley, all of them say are not taking it. 2-3 times, you yourself, you get scared and say, but look, two things can happen. Say, Lola, let me report me in the future. I don't even want to take anything. So you got to be careful. One man can inspire a whole country to go into doing something good. Somebody say, I'm always lambasting at the United Party. I am not. I'm in the standard bearer. No. If you can bear me witness, I'm not on record of causing any political leader in the Republic of Liberia. Even in 2017, when I decided not to support the United Party, I made it very clear that we have to maintain the sanctity of our traditional values. You can disagree, but you would never insult anybody. I have not publicly abused or lambasted at the standard bearer of the United Party. Even when I used to go live, I would tell people on my platform, you are entitled to insult one person. That is the presenter. If you go and insult any other person under my post or under the podcast, I will carry it for safekeeping. And we carry many people for safekeeping. Some of them, they are still there. So I don't believe in this kind of usage of unclean languages. Somebody talk, I think the last question was about what? About what? Can you remind me about that? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, the last question was about what?
Basically, the last question about if you have a similar rally that you're having another day.
Yes, the Friends of Vandalark Patriots in the US, they are going to have a series of rallies in the United States, and we expect people to support this process. I'm not a billionaire, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a thousandaire, if I should coin that word. But I think if the reason why you see the bad people in government, because people are afraid to contest. Because when you get into the political process, somebody say, but what have you done? Why are your tangibles? The tangibles are equated to money. The size of your pocket will determine how far you go. But again, if we should really support a political process that is free, where people are obligated to the voters, we have to support one another.
Okay, great.
We have to support our own ideology, what we believe. That's why you see me. If I tell you I believe in young people, I support them to the core. That's why I just told you, saying I came here. Every opportunity, if I see that a Liberian is supposed to benefit, I make sure I connect them. I bring quality into the discourse. I don't just go for any other person. But again, I want to apologize if you felt disappointed by what others have done in the past for which you want to attribute that to me. I apologize. But again, we were never born on the same day or the same hour or the same time. Vandalark remains an independent thinker. People who know me will voice for that. And I'm saying this and I'm throwing this out. Steve, you can amplify any day. If there is an inch of corruption where I work in terms of anything that someone can bring out with facts, I will back off from the race. And this is my candid opinion. And I'm speaking in the authority as someone wanting to go into the public sector to transform. So I want people to now be challenged. Don't sit back because you love Vandalark. I will not talk bad about Vandalark.
So Vandalark, your parting comment.
Out.
let's get your parting comment, please. Because of
My
time,
parting comment is that first and foremost, let me say thank you to your platform. Like I always say, this is a code of public opinions. You give people the opportunity to express. I'm sure we never have the time to read the comments from those who are following, but they are very essential because if you are not on this platform, this show will not have gone up. And I want to say you are grateful. I respect you. I will have the time to go over your comments, but you can just message me directly. If you have any dissenting view and you want to see how you can support me, I want you to send me a message in my inbox, and I will definitely respond. And secondly, I think it's about time that all of us begin to change the narratives. We all sit down. The problem of Liberia is some of us believe that we are professionals, and politics is for the politicians. Interestingly, if you are a professional person, you don't support a political process directly or indirectly. When the unqualified people take over the country, they will take that job from you, whether in the private sector or in the public sector. Imagine somebody who does not know the size of an office. The person is appointed minister and they have no degree, or maybe they have the first degree, and you get your PhD, which sometimes consider permanent head damage. You have to go report to them. So imagine the suffering that is associated to that. Imagine the pain. Imagine the demotion. So this is about time for professional people to transition. For me, purposely, I have been trained as a human rights defender and as a public policy expert. The best area to work is in the public sector to transform and reform the system. I am going there with credibility, and I'm asking you to support me. Support me not because you like me. I understand I criticize some of your political leaders, but I do it based on morality and the constitution of Liberia. Everything I projected about opposition, it came to pass. And some of you from the beginning, you lambasted at me. You call me names. But I saw why you could not see. But again, I was only doing it because I want the best for our country. I think the last question was, if this government change, will I support them? The government has already failed me. From the beginning, I advanced so many recommendations. If you can't do the work within 3 hours, that 30 minutes you will do, you succeed. This is not a football game, my brother. So on this note, I want to say thank you for creating this platform to give the chance to Vandalark Patricks to expound on what I think is good for our country and how do we reposition Liberia as a fraternal partner and no longer as a backup, as we are seeing ourselves. On this note, I want to say thank you. Happy Independence Day. Let God bless the Republic of Liberia. Let God bless the diaspora community. Let God bless the Sky TV, SKT TV, and of course, Steve. I want to say thank you, and I'm looking forward to your support. And of course, let me just make this very clear. August 6th, there's going to be a grand rally for Vandalark Patrick in Philadelphia. On the 5th, there will be a arrival, meet and greet. We're going to chill. Saturday, there will be sporting events. In the day and in the night, there will be a grand rally. On the 7th, which is Sunday, it's going to be a cookout. So it's a whole week flexing. Come and support Vandalark and ask the hard questions. I am prepared and I'm ready. God bless you, my dear brother. I see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Those were the words of Vandalark R. Patricks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking with us. This is how we turn it over. Happy 26 to you, and stay out of trouble. Have a good day.